Hello everyone, it's DuckFaden07. Today we are playing Ninja Tribal in Modern. Okay, so the new guy, Satoru, is a ninja type, and it's very powerful enabler for the archetype. Okay, so I played a very similar list in the past on my channel, DIMIR Scam Ninjas. And I updated the list with Satoru's and added Preordain to the list too. Okay, so Satoru works very well in this list because this list plays Ornitophter. Ornitophter is great with Infiltrator and the Moon Circuit Hacker. So you can just Ninjutsu on turn 2 and start drawing cards. Also in the past, in these slots I played the mana 1/1 ninja that's unblockable, but yeah, that's kind of not that great at the moment in the since the Orchish Bowmaster is played a lot in the format at the moment. But we have our own Orchish Bowmaster to deal with opponents, and I also have 4 Fatal Pushes, 4 Subtlety, so a lot of ways to deal with the creature. Also we get 3 Shielded Edicts on the sideboard to deal with Scion plus Leyline combo specifically, but also just other creatures. Okay, so we got Preordain. Preordain I think is a good fit in this build because it gives you information. You first of all, you don't really have a great 1-drop ninja to play, and you get information. What are you going to play on turn 2? You either looking for Infiltrator or Hacker or Satoru with Preordain if you don't have, of course, Grief Scam or Subtlety Scam on turn 1. So I think Preordain is a good fit, something you can play on turn 1, and it provides good information, making good plan for your turn 2 and 3. So also adding up to the blue card count because of the subtlety, I think that's good too, and of course Force of Negation on the sideboard. So I think I'm very happy with this build. The list performed insanely. I crushed my opponents. Basically, its deck does a lot of broken things, like if you have Satoru and Ornitophter on the field, attack, then Ninjutsu the Hacker, you draw a card from Hacker, then deal damage, draw a card with Hacker again, then you play the Ornitophter, draw a card from Satoru. That's basically like 1 mana draw 3, which is absolutely crazy. I got even crazier situations when I did the same thing with Grief and then just pitch cast the Grief again to draw more, and it can get really crazy. The deck has some really broken play patterns, and I really like the sideboard too. And that's it. Okay, so on the sideboard I have Doughty Voidwalkers. Doughties work well with these undying spells. They work well with Satoru if you're playing opponent's creatures. It's just decent. Graveyard Hate also works well with ninjas because of the ninjutsu ability. Shielded Edicts, removal of choice because of the Scion Leyline combo. Also we got Ashiok plus as additional, let's say, Graveyard Hate in addition to Doughty Voidwalker, but also hate for Amulet Titan matchup, and Force of Negations, Kaito Shizuki for the grindy matchups, and that's it. Okay, so we can now check out the gameplay, and gameplay was like pretty crazy. So let's start from this one, from the beginning, and see how it went. Okay, so sometimes, of course, you just have the Grief Scam follow up with the Bowmaster, and that's just already very crazy. And sometimes you will win on Scam, and we will see the matches when we win on the Ninja plan and a lot more. Okay, so basically we're playing Gruul Prowess here. The turn 1 Grief was really strong, taking 2 hits, and then I got Orchish Bowmaster and Satoru, but I was expecting them to go for the Druid, and that's why I holded my Bowmaster here to kill the Druid. So opponent hits the Grief, but I'm still pretty good, in good shape. Get to play attack for 2, play the Satoru, play the Preordain. Here I find another Bowmaster, then I decide to go for the Bowmasters instead. Deal extra 2 damage here. and pass the turn. Okay, opponent is on 5 life, and they play Anarchomancer. Okay, so going for another Preordain, then attacking with everything. My opponent can block my Bowmaster, but I go in with Infiltrator for 4 damage, and I can play the Bowmaster for lethal next turn, and that is the game. Okay, so let's check out game 2. Okay, so also let's check out the sideboarding plan. In this matchup, I decided on the draw I don't really have time to play the Preordains, and I just have to work with what I got in hand. So I decided to trim the Preordains and trim 2 Satorus, trim, let's say, the card selection, card advantage, and just add the normal cards, let's say. Okay, so going for Satoru, Grief here. Opponent plays Druid in response, kills my Satoru, but I still get to take look at their hand. And opponent next turn goes for the Breach, but don't have much to do with the Breach, just replay the bubble. I kill the Druid. They exiled the Breach with Druid, so they just play the Breach to do something with it. Okay, so here I got up to the 4th mana, so I can actually just hardcast my Infiltrators. Yeah, okay, so I just start hardcasting my Infiltrators. So it's a kind of strange position. Each player is not doing anything too crazy. Opponent plays the Breach, just attacks with Giganta, kills one of my Infiltrators, but I get to kill the Druid, attack with Infiltrator, draw a card here. Then Bowmasters in response to the Monomorphose. They try to kill it, but I bring it back. So I deal some damage with the Bowmasters. And yeah, now they have 6/6 Druid. And I succeed to get in for 2 damage and finish things up with my Bowmaster and the Shieldred Edict to get rid of one of their blockers. So that was the game. And let's check out match 2. Okay, so we're going to go through the wins first, then check out the defeats. Okay, all wins were just 2-0 straight wins. Very nice performance by the deck. I played 2 leagues with this build, did very well in both. Pretty happy with it. Okay, so here in match 2, no scam on turn 1, but I have option to go for the subtlety scam. That was not needed. Still, I was able to play the Bowmaster, kill the Ragavan. Turn 1 push the Ragavan. Turn 2 Bowmaster the Channeler. So pretty decent situation here. I'm just now going for the Infiltrator, start drawing cards, and I have mana open to go for the subtlety scam. So that is pretty decent situation, I'd say. So here opponent tries to bolt my Infiltrator, so in response I give it Undying. And yeah, Infiltrator is just so good if you can keep it alive. Very valuable creature. Okay, so going for the attacks with Infiltrator again. So keep drawing cards. I play another hacker and just pass the turn. I have subtlety holding, and yeah, I use my subtlety when opponent tries to place the Murktide, take their whole graveyard basically. And here it is, I go for the Ornitophter, play the hacker, and I have Infiltrator for the next turn. So pretty good position for me. Okay, so here I can just ninjutsu the Infiltrator again, and just draw really a bunch of cards here. I'm attacking with 3 ninjas. So 2 Infiltrator abilities means a lot of cards, and I deal 5 damage here, but this is like drawing 4 cards, which is insane, and opponent concedes. That is the game. So let's check out game 2. Okay, so nothing crazy, but a decent hand. Let's see the sideboarding plan. Okay, so in this matchup I decided to take out all the subtleties. One Fatal Push, I brought in the edicts, and the Preordains, I brought in the edicts, the doughties. Doughties hate their graveyard, they really need to kill it. It can be blocked. It's a good threat against them, so I decided to put in the doughties. Edicts also help me kill Murktide, of course. So also Kaito for the grindy matchups. Let's say here I tried to play the Moon Circuit Hacker, but it got spell snared. Okay. Opponent goes for the expressive iteration, plays bubble, and now I play the Kaito Shizuki, make a ninja token, and yeah, next turn if I can protect the Kaito, I can start drawing cards, but unfortunately opponent has Shredder. I can't really get rid of the Shredder, can't block it, but yeah, I still got very I draw a card here from the Grief, I find Not Dead After All on the top, and then I discard another card, draw another card from Satoru, so pretty good position for me. Opponent grows their Ledger Shredder, but all they have is Counterspell in hand. I discarded everything else. Okay, so they kill my Kaito, but yeah, now I can do some really crazy stuff. Okay, we can see here that I can attack, just bring back Grief into my hand, put Ninjutsu the Infiltrator on the field, which draws me card from Satoru ability, and then I deal damage with Satoru and Infiltrator, draw 2 more, and then I can pitch cast the Grief to try to draw again. Opponent of course has a counterspell in hand. Okay, here it is, drawing 2 more. Okay, so here I go for the Grief first, so they use the counterspell, then I use this edict to kill their Ledger Shredder, so now they only have 1 card in hand, and that is a game over. My opponent concedes. So let's check out match 3, sorry. Okay, so match 3. Decent hand, Preordain and Bowmasters, Infiltrator. I can go for the Ornitophter, of course, Infiltrator on turn 2, that's a perfect start. Opponent goes for the Chalice of the Void, and I can just safely go for the Infiltrator here, draw a card. I don't have any ways to get rid of the Chalice of the Void, so yeah, like Ornithopter is unusable anyway. Okay, so opponent plays Urza Saga. I'm not sure why, but I've been seeing the Eldrazi deck quite a bit, and with 4 subtleties, 4 Griefs and all this stuff, it's just pretty good matchup for this deck. I scam a Grief here, taking Karn, taking Reality Smasher. Okay, opponent makes a construct token, passing the turn. I can still attack with both my creatures here. And I use the Hacker again, put Grief to my hand, deal 4 and draw 3 cards here. That is like really insane. I can do whatever I want basically here. Okay, so going for the Grief, taking the last card in their hands, so they now only have 2 lands, also holding 2 subtleties in case they for the later turns, of course. I also have Otavara to get rid of the construct token. Here is push also. So I first decide to go for the push, so I can just draw 2 more cards here. Just continue drawing with Infiltrator is just so crazy here. Okay, I go for another hacker, play my land, pass the turn, holding the push, holding the subtlety. I have a lot here and it's just impossible for my opponent to do much. And I go for the subtlety on the reshaper, and that is enough for the opponent and they concede the game. Let's check out the game 2. Okay, so the first hand wasn't doing much, so I decided to mulligan. I got a good mulligan, but just a tapped survey land, but that was fine. Okay, so there's also just usually they don't do much on turn 2. Okay, so here I go for this grief scam on turn 2, discarding the Karn and Relic of Progenitors, so then I only have Urza Saga. Urza Saga is pretty good against scam decks. Okay, so here we can see that I just trimmed 1 Preordain, 1 Hacker, 1 Ornitophter, just trimming a couple of cards to bring in a Shielded Edicts. That's it. So they're playing these big creatures like Totnut Seer, like Reality Smasher, so Edict is pretty good there. I play my Darkslick Shores, continue attacking with Grief, and this is just really crazy. So I push the construct token and not dead after all on my creature, kill both of their creature, my Grief comes back, draws me a card with Satoru, looks at their hand again, and it's just crazy. They actually find another Reshaper with the Reshaper ability and kill my Grief, so they're kind of back into the game. My hand is also good, the Bowmaster and the Edict. So here opponent attacks with the Reshaper, so I decide to go for, I know their last card in hand and I know they don't have anything relevant, so I can just go for not dead after all and draw another card with Satoru. Okay, so I decide to surveil here. And the sweet thing here with the ninjas, I surveilled Infiltrator on the top, and I can draw a card with Satoru here, and then put Infiltrator 2 on the field immediately and just go off, draw 4 here. It's just insane, completely insane. And that opponent concedes after that. That is like really too much. And that is the match. Okay, so let's check out match 4. Okay, really fast, clean wins with ninjas. Okay, here I was playing against Domain Zoo, and this is why I like Preordain. I played Preordain on turn 2, on turn 1, so my goal became clear. Just keep Infiltrator on the top for turn 2, and just making these the strongest stuff this deck does, making it make it as constant as possible. I think that is a good way to win in these games. Okay, so here I play another Ornithopter. Both players are in top deck mode. I'm kind of afraid they find their Scion, of course. That would be hard to deal with. But I can go for the Surveyor here, finding Otavara in hand. So I have kind of a solution for that too. I can now continue attacking with the Bowmaster, holding push plus Otavara. So I'm in decent shape. Opponent just goes Giganta hand, plays their 5th land, and that's it. Okay, now I find the Infiltrator. So I can go for the Infiltrator again, try to draw a card, but opponent has Bolt, unfortunately, to kill my guy. and they go for the Giganta, but they're now just one card in hand. So I decided just to jump the Giganta for a turn and then go Otawara, the Giganta, end of their turn. And now I push Nekatal on my turn, so I play around Stubborn Denial like this. And now I can subtlety their Giganta, which gets me, and they do a mistake here, put Giganta on top. That was a bad decision, because they don't really have time to play it, and because they're on 4 now, so they can't play Giganta now, because they still die if they do, and they had to double removal on my subtlety to survive the turn, but I still find a lethal immediately. So how I do a lethal here? Put Bowmaster back into my hand, Ninjutsu the Hacker, and play the Bowmaster again, so I deal 5 damage this turn immediately, and that is the game. So let's check out game 2. I mulliganed the one lander there, and keeping a pretty decent hand. I can like turn 1 push, turn 2 Satoru into Ornitophter, but I find even better solution, and that is turn 1 Grief, of course, taking the binding and the bolt. They still have third removal in hand, so I can't prevent them from killing my Grief, but I was able to get the 2 removals out and play Satoru plus Ornitophter next turn. Just continue attacking, doing stuff, playing Hacker here, and playing Ornitophter again, drawing another card. The Ornitophter plus Ninjutsu is just so powerful with Satoru. And opponent, maybe I should have played the Grief last turn. I think that was probably the play. But yeah, then I would maybe not find not dead after all, so I think that's good. Here I go for the Grief scam again, drawing 2 cards in the process, taking a second Ragavan from their hand, also putting scammed Grief in the play. And yeah, that's a pretty good position for me. I also have a Bowmaster to kill the Ragavan next turn, and I find Shielded Edict on top, which means, yeah, basically no chance for the opponent. I go for the Bowmaster, kill the Ragavan, Edict the Giganta, and I can Moon Circuit the Hacker immediately, and you can see here that this is 1 mana, draw 3. Insane. I can't save the Grief here, it's not blocker's phase yet. Okay, so I can go for the Ornitophter here, draw card from Satoru, deal damage with Hacker, draw another card, then play the Ornitophter, and draw another card with Satoru. So basically 1 mana, draw 3. It's just kind of like if you have Satoru on the field and Ornitophter, it's like Ancestral Vision, yes, or Ancestral Recall, sorry. Okay, so yeah, that is the match, and really strong performance by Ninjas in this league. And we will now go through the match I lost, the only loss in this league. Okay, so I went to mulligan to 6 here, keeping a pretty good hand. As you could see before, this type of hands can go really crazy, but I definitely have some choices to do here. I decide to go for the Satoru plus Ornitophter here, draw a card, and then next turn, if they don't have a way to deal with this, similar to last game, I draw 3 cards, which is just really powerful. Okay, I try to go for maybe I should have attacked first. I don't think it would matter. Maybe I would be able to, maybe they would go for the Solitude in my block phase, so maybe that would matter. But opponent unfortunately has Solitude plus Ephemerate here, which is pretty strong against my deck. But yeah, Gorios is not that popular at the moment anymore, and unfortunately I don't have way to kill a Solitude in the main. I can just trade with other creature like a Bowmaster, okay, of course. So I go for the Ornithopter here, and my opponent can scam another elemental, so they also just kill the Grief too. And I play the Satoru now. I didn't want to trade with Grief, and they take my Fatal Push and go for Prismatic Ending on Satoru, so I'm still not trading with the Infiltrator, hoping to find another Infiltrator from the top, but that didn't really happen, and my opponent got some decent draws. I didn't get much, but yeah, still holding, waiting, staying back. Opponent is not attacking with Grief until now, of course. Now they decide to let me draw a card with Infiltrator, and I was able to play the Satoru. And now I can double block the Grief. Opponent tries to ephemerate the Solitude, so I Otawara it back, and we trade Grief for Satoru, but I can now attack with Infiltrator, start drawing cards again. And I draw into the Grief, taking... what did I take? Sorry. I think I take Indulgence and leave the Solitude in their hand. Maybe I should have left maybe I should have taken the Solitude, leave the Indulgence, but Indulgence is just 2 mana, draw 2 right now. Solitude is kind of also like 2 for 1, but maybe it was better to just take the Solitude there. Tainted Indulgence does get them like a random card. Okay, so opponent goes for Falagi there. Unfortunately, they have 1/4 Archaeologist, and which enable them to just block my Infiltrator, so I'm not able to draw cards here, which is something I really need in a position like this. I go for Subtlety here as another attacker, try to pressure my opponent. And yeah, here it is. Opponent blocks Infiltrator again, but this time I can play the Bowmaster, finish the Archaeologist. And yeah, unfortunately now my opponent finds Atraxa, but they kind of just didn't kill me here. So they went Gorios on Atraxa, Gorios on Griselbrand, but I survive on 2 life here, and I have incredible board state. They didn't find Ephemerate, so I had incredible board state, and I draw 4 cards here, so I was back in game definitely, and I play Grief, taking their last card in hand, so they're in total top deck mode. And they find Tainted Indulgence on top, into Falagi, into 3rd Gorios in their like top 5 cards, so they get the win. But it was like really lucky at top deck. In situations where I had complete control, I would draw so much cards next turn. Yeah, so I had 2 turn clock here, so it was a pretty lucky draw by the opponent. Okay, let's check out another one. Okay, so for this matchup I board in the Doughties and Ashiox, I think. Trimmed some Subtleties. They play of course Grief and Solitude, but I still decided to trim 2 Subtleties, 2 Hackers, all the Preordains and all the pushes just don't do much against them, and 1 Satoru. So I sideboarded a lot of cards for this matchup. Okay, so here again I did the Satoru thing with Ninjutsu and Ornitophter. Is just incredibly powerful. Also pitchcast the Grief to take their best card from hand. And my opponent goes for the Purge. And I have some options here, definitely drawing more cards with Infiltrator. I play only one of my Doughties, then pitchcast the Subtlety on their Phalange, passing the turn, continue attacking with for 5 damage there, putting my opponent on 8, and now I play another Doughty because that's basically really close to lethal next turn. So my opponent concedes, they didn't find the 4th land, so that was the game. And let's check out game 3. Okay, so I think same thing, yeah, no changes. Match 2, game 2 and game 3, and this time opponent has turn 1 Grief Scam but with Ephemerate. So takes all my good stuff, and this was very good start for them in game 3 after that win in game 1 from top of their deck. So here I graveyard the Not Dead after all, finding just another Not Dead on top, doing another Surveil. The Ashiok wasn't really useful at the moment in a situation like this where they're just going for the plan B. And I play my Ornitophter, which means I can go for the Infiltrator next turn, start drawing cards, but the problem is they have 2 Archaeologists there, so it will be difficult to go through with Infiltrator. Okay, opponent takes 1 Infiltrator here, still I'm able to Ninjutsu the other one and draw a card, but I basically need more Infiltrators and more Satorus right now to be able to get back into this game. Opponent has a bunch of Ephemerate effects, so really crippled my hand. Like 2 Ephemerates already. Okay, so now they go for the Phalange, put a removal into their hand, continue attacking with Grief. I'm already on 8 life. I can't go through with damage through Phalanges with Infiltrator, so it's a pretty hard game for me in this game 3. Okay, here opponent goes for the Mending and Digging, and it's at this point it's just a matter of time where they'll find what they're looking for. They missed with Phalange here, not putting anything in hand, and it's time to try to block this Grief. I'm too low on life right now, so I go for the blocks with Ornithopter and Subtlety, passing the turn. Maybe it was a better move to just trade with Infiltrator since Subtlety can attack. Okay, and now my opponent finds Griselbrand, and that is enough for lethal on this exact turn. So that is the match, and only loss in this league. Fair loss in game 3, but kind of a bit unlucky there in game 1, but overall I feel like it's incredible strong performance in my opinion for ninjas, and the archetype feels like incredibly powerful now with Satoru. The thing the Hacker and the Infiltrator do with Satoru and Ornithopter in the field is just incredibly powerful. With the Hacker it's 1 mana draw 3, with the Infiltrator it's 2 mana draw 3, but this guy is super powerful ability. Whenever any ninja deals combat damage, you draw a card, and we have a bunch of ninjas here like Satoru, Hackers and Infiltrator, and that is enough. And that is also why I play Preordain, to try to make this deck more consistent, try to find the Satorus, the Infiltrators and the Ornithopters in the early turns, also the Grief, Subtlety, Scam. That is stuff you want every game, stuff you want to find always. That's it, very effective sideboard cards, Force of Negations, Doughties, Edicts, Ashioks and Kaitos, just for the grindy matchups basically. All other cards are hate. So that's it, very simple deck, very simple build, but very effective. I'm just completely into it, I like it a lot. I will definitely be trying it again, playing more of it. It's very fun, exciting, and I think it's really quality, really a good build, and strong and competitive. Okay, so definitely it's a good time to have fun with ninjas in modern, as I feel it is like a pretty competitive deck, maybe like a best way to play DIMIR at the moment. Yeah, so that's it. Hope you liked the video, hope you liked the list, the gameplay. Friendly reminder to click like, click subscribe, comment in the video, and that's it for today. Thank you for watching and goodbye.